Have you ever been working towards something and then over time you started to realize that that initial passion, that initial motivation, that initial momentum is waning and you can't figure out why? Well, chances are it's not burnout. It's actually you've lost your reason why you started whatever that was to begin with. It happens to all of us. It's actually been happening to me a lot lately as I've been working on just trying to reshape what it is that I want to do, what I want to work on. And so I've been walking through an activity that I find incredibly helpful that actually has two parts that I want to walk you through today. So stay until the end because I want to make sure you get both parts. Because too often we think, well, I'm just tired and I'm burnt out and I just don't want to do this anymore. But that's actually not the case. And we know we have to get back to the why. Why did I start this to begin with? Why did I want to do this new exercise program? Why did I want to get this degree? Why did I want to do this new part of my job? Why did I want it, whatever it is, whether it's personal, professional, it doesn't matter. We've got to get back to our why. The issue is it's easy to say, and very few people teach us how. And so I want to teach you how today. And it's through a process called visualization. Now, visualization is not new. It's something that honestly high performers and very successful athletes especially use all the time. If you look at research on Olympic athletes and like NFL players, they use visualization to really help them stick with their why and keep that momentum going, because motivation is going to die. It just is. It's just the way life goes. But we've got to build that consistent momentum to keep us moving toward what we want. Because if you still want what you originally set out for, then it's worth fighting for. So the idea behind visualization is, like I said, there were two parts. The first part is visualizing you achieving what you want. And so for the next couple minutes of this video, I'm actually going to ask you to close your eyes. So if you're driving or if you're somewhere that it is unsafe or you are not in a situation where you can close your eyes, then you can just listen or you can pause this video and come back when you are ready. But I want you to close your eyes, and I'm going to close mine as well. And so I want you to think about what it is that you're working toward. So if right now where your motivation is waning is that degree that you're working toward, or that promotion that you're working toward, or investing in yourself is what you're working toward, but you're having a hard time staying motivated, I want you to visualize what the end result would look like. So visualize yourself achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. And really be specific. Start by, where are you? Look around in your mind. Where are you? Who are you with? Picture those people, even if you know them or you don't know them, it doesn't matter. Picture them in your mind in detail. Who are you with? What does it sound like? Are you in a loud place? Are you in a quiet place? What would the sounds be around you? What does it smell like? Are there any smells associated with you achieving what you're looking for, what you're wanting? What does it feel like when you achieve what you want for your life? Take deep breaths and breathe it in. Okay, now open your eyes. So obviously that motivates us a little bit. The more you do it, the more it helps. And the more detailed you can be, the more it helps to really get to, what does that moment feel like? Now I want you to close your eyes again. This is still part one. And I want you to imagine your life if you never achieve whatever that is. What would be the outcome? What would you sacrifice? What would you lose? What would you miss out on that you really, really want? Okay, open your eyes. Because visualizing takes both parts. You can't just visualize what it will look like when you achieve what you want. And granted, I completely understand that you may not even know. You may not even know. And that's okay. We're not fortune tellers. We're not supposed to know. But it helps us get to the why when we think about achieving what we want. But to really get to the depths of your why, you also have to look at what will happen if you don't get what you're fighting for, how that will change. So that's part one of visualization, achieving what you want or not achieving what you want. The second part of visualization is actually where the magic happens, because the first part is much easier. The second part is where you don't just visualize the end result, you visualize steps along the way. They've done a lot of research with marathon runners, and what they have found is, yes, visualizing them crossing that finish line is huge, but what actually gets them to cross that finish line is for them to visualize all the steps along the way, and not just the good steps, to visualize the hard times, to visualize getting up and running even when it's raining or it's cold, to visualize running up the hills and the pain that you experience, to visualize getting out of bed every morning when you don't want to get up and run. And I'm not training for a marathon. You may be, you may be not, but the same concept applies. We have to visualize all the little steps along the way, because as we all know, it's not the end result that really matters. It's great, but science shows, and over again, high performers report that the end result is often anticlimactic, because you're like, you've worked so hard for something, and then you get it, and you're like, okay, now what? Because actually the valuable part, the rewarding part, the part that filled your soul was the little steps that you did along the way that you didn't celebrate, though you should. That's a different video and conversation. But that you didn't celebrate along the way because you didn't recognize how valuable they were. But when you visualize all those little steps along the way, that's when you're training your brain and you're shifting your mindset. Because you're like, nope, I visualize myself taking the tiny steps. I visualize myself overcoming the difficult pieces. I visualize myself doing the work. Because whatever it is that you want, if it was easy, you'd already have it. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And they don't. They don't. So quickly, because this takes multiple steps, I want you to close your eyes again. And I want you to start, take a couple seconds, and just visualize what are the steps you're going to have to take along the way to get what you want. They could be steps that you're looking forward to. They could be steps that you're not looking forward to. But just take the little time that we have and visualize what are those tiny steps that you're going to have to take. Those steps on the staircase, right? You've seen that illustration. One tiny step at a time to actually get you to where you want to go. Okay, you can open your eyes. So this visualization process is not a one-time attempt. It's not a one-time strategy. It's not a one-time tool. You have to do it repeatedly. I know people that I work with that go through this process every night before they go to bed or every morning when they wake up. I do it in the mornings. I can't do it at night because then it keeps me awake. Because once I have enough problems sleeping, once my brain starts spinning, it's over. So it works for me in the morning, but you've got to get in the habit of visualizing it. And there's a connection to manifestation that, again, is a different video. But get in the habit of visualizing you accomplishing what you want and the steps along the way, and then celebrate those successes. Don't just wait to celebrate the big piece. Celebrate the little ones along the way because you deserve it. So I hope you find this tool helpful. I absolutely love it, and I use it all the time. If you do find it helpful, please let me know. Share it with someone else. It's amazing how something like visualization, just giving ourselves a couple of minutes every day to invest in us, can make a massive difference, a massive difference. And if you're a mom like me, it gives you an excuse maybe to have a few minutes by yourself.